Hello, everyone, and welcome back. You are listening to a special edition of The Deep Dive.
We're calling this one Your English Comfort Zone.
That's right. We're still doing our usual deep dive into, research and strategy.
But for this one, we're just slowing things down a little.
Yeah.
We want to make sure every idea is really clear.
Exactly. And that the conversation feels, comfortable, no stress, just listening.
Mm-hmm. But don't let the relaxed pace fool you. The topic today is actually, it can be pretty high pressure.
Oh, definitely. We're looking at how to tell someone you think they're wrong without, completely ruining the relationship.
It's the art of disagreeing politely. And if we're being honest, it's something that most of us are, we're terrible at it.
I'll be the first to admit I am awful at this. If I'm in a meeting and I hear what I think is a bad idea, I do one of two things.
Okay.
I either stay completely silent and just, resent it later, or I blurt out, that is not going to work, and then everyone just stares at me like I kicked a puppy.
You are definitely not alone there. In fact, that reaction you just described, that's biology. It's not just you.
So it's not just me being awkward.
Not at all. It's fear. When we disagree, our brain often reads the situation as a threat.
A threat, like a real threat.
Not a physical one, but a social one. We get terrified of, stepping on toes or losing status in the group.
Right, that fear of a negative reaction. We think, if I say no, they won't like me.
Exactly. And the research shows that when the stakes are high and emotions are running hot, humans tend to go to one of two extremes.
Which are?
Silence or violence.
Okay, silence I get. That's me in the meeting, just smiling and nodding while inside I'm screaming. But violence, that sounds a bit intense for a workplace discussion.
Well, they don't mean physical violence. It's more about verbal dominance.
So like interrupting people, raising your voice.
Yeah, or just forcing your opinion on others. That whole my way or the highway approach.
So we either hide or we attack.
Precisely. And neither of those is good for building relationships. There's this great metaphor for this from Nonviolent Communication, or NVC. They talk about the jackal and the giraffe.
Oh, I was reading about this. I love this. The jackal is that aggressive, judging side of us, right?
Yes, the jackal speaks in demands. It thinks in labels like, I'm right, you're wrong, or this is good, that is stupid.
It wants to win.
It wants to win the argument. But the giraffe has the biggest heart of any land animal and a long neck to see the bigger picture.
So the giraffe wants to connect.
Exactly. The goal isn't to win. The goal is to understand and be understood.
That sounds lovely, but let's be real for a second. It's hard to be a giraffe when your boss is suggesting a deadline that is, mathematically impossible.
Right. Or a friend is pushing you to do something you really don't want to do.
So how do we actually do this in the moment without needing a degree in psychology?
That's where we get some really practical tools, specific language you can use. But the first step isn't about what you say.
It's about what you don't say.
Exactly. You have to slow down. The moment you hear something you disagree with, your instinct is to jump in with a no. Instead, try this phrase.
Okay.
I'm not sure about that.
I'm not sure about that. It's very neutral.
It is. And that's why it works. It just buys you a few seconds to think. You're not rejecting the person.
You're just pausing the idea.
Right. You're looking at the concept from a distance instead of immediately judging it.
It feels so much safer than saying, I disagree. Feels like you're drawing a line in the sand.
Yeah.
But I am not sure. Feels more like I'm inviting them to look at the map with me.
That's a great way to put it. Imagine a friend suggests a really expensive restaurant you can't afford. If you just say, no, that's too expensive, it can sound like you're criticizing their choice.
Or it makes me sound cheap or makes them feel bad. It just gets messy.
Right. But if you just say, I'm not sure about that, it creates this soft pause.
Yeah.
Then you can explain. It de-escalates the tension before it even starts.
Okay, so that's step one, the pause. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
What comes next? What if we're in a brainstorming session, ideas are flying, and I need to offer a different view without shutting everyone down?
Then you can move to a phrase that people use all the time, often without even realizing how powerful it is.
And that is?
Maybe, but.
Maybe, but. It sounds almost too simple.
Simple is good. Think about what it's doing. The word maybe validates them.
Ooh.
It signals, I heard you, and it's possible you're right. It keeps the door open. It prevents that defensive wall from going up.
Because if you start with but, you're just dismissing them.
Exactly. But if you start with maybe, you acknowledge them first, then and only then do you add your perspective.
So if a colleague says, we should paint the whole office bright red to boost energy, I shouldn't say, that will give everyone a migraine.
That would be the jackal talk.
Right.
Instead, you could try, maybe, but I see it a bit differently. I think it might be a little hard in our eyes after a few hours.
I see it a bit differently. I like that part. It's not a fact that red is bad. It's just, how I see it. It's my opinion.
It owns the opinion. There was this story about a team planning a huge project. Everyone in the room just nodded along with the leader's bad idea because they were all afraid to look difficult.
Oh, the classic case where everyone agrees to do something that nobody actually wants to do.
Exactly. And they wasted weeks. If just one person had felt safe enough to say, maybe, but have we considered the risks here? It could have saved the company a fortune.
It's interesting you keep saying safe. I feel like that's the core theme. But what if I'm in a situation where I really need to impress someone, like a senior manager? Maybe, but might sound a little too casual.
You're right. In a more formal setting, you need to signal a high level of respect. And the phrase for that is, I see your point, but.
I see your point.
Yeah, this proves you were actually listening. You can't just wait for your turn to talk. You have to show you processed what they said.
So it's not just a polite noise you make before you start arguing.
It shouldn't be. You have to mean it. You're saying, I understand the logic you're using. That lowers their defenses. When people feel heard, they don't feel the need to fight.
Okay, I have a question about that. I've heard some people say you should avoid the word but completely.
Oh, yeah.
That you should use and instead. Like, I see your point and I have another idea. Is but really your problem?
That's a very advanced point. And yes, and can be even softer. It suggests two ideas can exist at the same time.
Right.
But for most people, but is perfectly fine, as long as that first part is respectful. I see your point, but I'm worried about the timeline is a very professional thing to say.
There was another version I liked for professional settings. It was, I understand your suggestion, however...
However is basically a but wearing a tuxedo.
Yeah.
It's very formal, very crisp. I understand your suggestion. However, I'd like to propose we look at option B.
That sounds like someone in charge.
It does, but there's a trap here. When we use these formal phrases, we often feel like we need to justify ourselves. We get nervous and start rambling.
Oh, I do this constantly. I feel guilty for disagreeing, so I over-explain to try and make it okay. I give 20 reasons and apologize 5 times.
And that actually weakens your position. The advice from the experts is to keep it simple.
How simple?
1 sentence is often enough.
Just one. That feels kind of blunt.
It feels blunt to you, maybe, but to the listener, it feels clear. If you explain too much, it sounds like you're asking for permission to disagree. And you don't need permission.
Okay, so give me an example. Let's say a coworker wants to call me about work late at night. And I really hate that.
Okay. The anxious, over-explaining response would be, I see your point, but I'm really tired at night, and my kids are sleeping, and I have trouble falling back asleep, so maybe we shouldn't.
I can hear how weak that sounds. I sound like I'm begging.
You do. Now try the assertive approach. A simple formula. I feel X. I would like Y.
Okay, so I feel uncomfortable taking calls after 10 p.m. I would like for us to speak tomorrow morning.
Boom. Clear, honest, respectful.
And just stop talking.
You stop talking. And you have to be okay with the silence that follows. That silence isn't bad. It's just them processing your boundary.
That silence is the hardest part. It brings us right back to that fear we talked about at the start. That fear that if I disagree, I'm damaging the relationship.
And that's the biggest myth we need to bust today, this idea of psychological safety. People think it means everyone being nice all the time.
Right. No conflict, no arguments, just smiles.
But it's actually the opposite. Psychological safety means the environment is safe enough for conflict. If we're a strong team, we should be disagreeing.
Because if we don't, bad ideas survive just because everyone is too polite to kill them.
Precisely. Disagreement isn't a sign of a bad relationship. It's a sign of a healthy one. It means we trust each other enough to be real.
There was one tool for this I thought was brilliant. The Fist of 5.
Oh, I love the Fist of 5. Such a quick way to cut through all the fake politeness.
Walk us through it.
Okay, so you're in a group making a decision. Instead of asking, does everyone agree, and watching people kind of nod, you ask for a vote with their hands.
Okay.
A fist, so 0 fingers, means absolutely not, I block this. It's a hard stop.
Wow, that's a brave thing to do in a meeting.
It is, but it's clear. 1 or 2 fingers means I have major concerns. 3 is I'm not thrilled, but I can live with it.
Yeah.
And 5 is I love it.
And the most dangerous person is the one holding up 5 fingers but feeling like a 1 on the inside.
That's just dishonesty. It's actually more respectful to your team to show a 1 or a 2 than to lie and show a 5.
Because the truth will come out eventually, right? If you hate the plan, you won't be motivated to work on it.
Being real is better than being nice. That's really the takeaway here.
I think that's a perfect place to land. So we've covered quite a bit, from the biology of fear to specific phrases you can use.
It all comes down to having a toolkit, you know? When you have the words ready, you don't have to be afraid of freezing up.
So let's just recap those 3 key phrases for everyone. The safety phrases.
First, when you need to slow things down. I'm not sure about that.
Second, for that casual collaborative vibe, maybe, but I see it a bit differently.
And third, for that professional context where you need to show you were listening. I see your point, but...
And the golden rule under all of it. Keep it simple, don't over-explain.
My advice for you this week is just to try one of them. The next time you feel that little knot in your stomach, don't go silent.
And don't go on the attack.
Just take a breath, use the phrase, and see what happens.
You might be surprised that the world doesn't end. The conversation might even get better.
It usually does.
Thank you so much for joining us in the English Comfort Zone today. We really hope this deep dive gave you some tools for those tricky conversations.
It was a pleasure. Go out there and disagree politely.
See you next time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.